I always joke as a business owner, you wake up every day not knowing what bad thing could possibly happen that you never even thought of. Maybe, there's that hurricane or who knows, right? A cybersecurity event is statistically the most probable thing that is going to actually happen to a business today.
Chad, for business owners who maybe feel like they're already tech savvy, but they're still not IT experts, what essentials should they consider?
I feel like I get preachy when I talk about this, so I'll try not to get preachy, but stop thinking about if and start planning for when. Businesses that are in Florida don't think about having a plan for a hurricane, right? They have a plan for a hurricane. And I think about cybersecurity as that hurricane. So I always say to businesses, do you have a plan for when you're going to get hit by a cybersecurity event, not if? And as we onboard new clients now for the last few years, we actually have taken what we call an assumed breach position. And honestly, that came out of a near miss. We were bringing on a new client who had an internal IT person, and unbeknownst to the internal IT person, we call that co-managed. So this was a scenario where we were coming in to work with an internal IT person that didn't know that they had a threat actor in their network and had been in their network. Business email compromise. So only did that threat actor make themselves known when they saw the email correspondence, because they were reading all the email of this company's executives and their internal IT, that we were going to start deploying our tools. So they knew they were going to get found out. So they waited right up till the 11th hour, the day before we were going to start deploying tools, and they encrypted the entire network. So, that's that I tell those stories like this because these things happen every day. And that business thankfully had backups that they could restore from. That story doesn't always end that way. So I always talk to businesses, business leaders, business owners, have a plan and take that idea that what if I have a complete network outage that I don't have any access to my data. I can't recover from backups. And then you start thinking about, okay, if my business is going to survive now, what are the things that I would need to have? And then having a trusted IT person or IT professional. Gone are the days where one person can do it all. Even within my organization, I don't have one person that can, and when I say can do it, can be an expert at everything. So that is the challenge that a small business has. A lot of times I see relatives will help out, or they've got a friend, or they've got a boutique, maybe they've got an IT professional that is maybe a sole entrepreneur that's helping them out. But having somebody that you can trust, but then also having a network that you can tap into, as you scale, and then maybe as the business gets larger, they can bring in a professional firm like NuWave to help them with their IT needs.
Absolutely. And the only thing worse than being targeted by a cybersecurity attack is not having that trusted partner to turn to when you need to immediately take some of those steps that really only someone with expertise like NuWave has to know what to do.
We are nothing like we were today when we were before the internet. I really do think we did a bit of a failure when it came to introducing the internet to the general population. I think AI is going to have, and I think we all would agree, is going to have the same impact that bringing the internet to the globe has had. It is enormous, right? And everything can be interconnected as we were back then. I feel a little bit bad about it because we're telling people, hey, now you're connected. You could dial up via modem, right? You could log in, and then they're like, so now what? And we're like, I don't know. You paid us $30 a month. That's up to you to go figure out what to do with the internet. We're just here to get you connected, right? And I think this is something why, in fact, this entire meeting is I actually think trying to stop that from happening, just to say, AI's out there, go figure it out. The average person is just, they're not going to, by the time it gets to where it is and those of us that are involved are using it, we're going to leave a whole segment of people behind. And I hope, that these kind of conversations and stuff don't let that happen, right? And obviously, as an advocate, AI is incredible. In fact, you'll see one of my very first thing, AI evolution is an evolution. And that's an important statement by saying AI is not, it's not new. Genetic algorithms, neural nets, and all these things, large language models, small language models, natural language processing, all of this stuff has been around for a very long time. But what it is absolutely going to do, and we are in this moment right now, is it is evolving how we do things. And I think a lot of times when you think about AI, you keep asking, well, what is AI going to do next?
NuWave technology partners, and Prescott, thank you for being on the show today. Really appreciate having you and your insights. That is all for this episode of Expert Connections. You can stay tuned for the next video in our Expert Connections series, and we'll see you next time.